Hello and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Thank you so much for listening, downloading, sharing the show. I truly appreciate it. I just love how people are continuing to love and enjoy the show. And if you do love and enjoy the show, and if you are able to leave a 5-star review or to just leave some sort of uplifting comment or interesting description of the show from your point of view on whatever podcast platform you listen to the show, I would greatly appreciate it. That would just help bring more people into listening to the show and give me the opportunity to help even more people. So if you were able to do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you wanted to come by and just chat with me and connect with me on Instagram, I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo, or you're welcome to send me an email as well. All of that information is in the description box, along with all the notes for the show. But again, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you downloading and sharing the show. So let's get right into the episode. Thanks so much, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. Happy Thursday to you all. Today's a great day, and I hope it is an actual great day for you as well. This week, we are talking about how to know you are growing, and then today, specifically Thursday, we are going to be talking about care less what others think. But before we dive into that, as always, I want to talk about the 5-minute reset. If you are feeling like you're having a stressful time, if you feel like things are overwhelming or there are certain events or experiences that transpire that you want to just leave in the past, just not let those things continually drag you down, hang off of you for the rest of the day, try the 5-minute reset. All you need is at least 5 minutes to be by yourself, and it'll allow you to reset, reboot, restart your day right then and there. And it allows you to take a break from any issues or burdens that are dragging you down and causing you issues. You can take some time to come up with any resolutions to any problems or issues that you're dealing with, whether alone or with other people. I always encourage everyone to come up with a list of at least 4 things that you are grateful for, big, small, and medium size. You can be grateful for so many things, and it just ranges so wide. You can be grateful that you were able to finally get together with friends and family. You can be grateful that you finally were able to have like a date with your partner or your spouse. That's amazing. You can be grateful that you had some cuddle time on the couch just to read a book, and you were able to cuddle with your dog or your cat or whatever your pet is, or maybe your kiddo or your spouse even. Like, that is just so nice, and that's one of the things I am super grateful for today. Or you can be grateful for, just being able to focus in and really get some work done or get a project done that you've kind of been putting off or procrastinating on. You finally just are able to zone in and get it complete. You can literally be grateful for anything and everything. The list is never ending, which is fantastic. And then last but not least, make sure that you're feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day, because by creating your gratitude list and really thinking through the positives that are going on in your life, it will help you get through those negative times a lot easier than just continuing to focus on the negative. I promise you that. So I encourage you to just stay focused and understand that by focusing on the negative, that's not really going to fix anything. That's really just going to make things worse. So I encourage you to do that, but I do hope on this Thursday that you are having a really good day. Like I said at the top of the show, we are talking about how to know you're growing this week, and today, Thursday, we are going to talk about you care less what others think. This is a tough one. It's so easy to get caught up in what others think about us because we can all be so insecure. Let's just be honest. Let's just put it all on the table and not try to save anyone's feelings. We just all are so insecure. And people will develop that insecurity through their experiences growing up, or they're in certain experiences where they were maybe knocked down or told that they were different and they can't be different, or they need to be what other people are, or that who they thought they were is wrong and they need to be seeking out positive, or what they would call positive. You need to be seeking out feedback and, confirmations from people outside of them. And, this insecurity can just build in us so easily, so quickly. And I feel like the sooner that it starts, the worse it could be because it gets so embedded in who you are as a person. But we can forget who we are and make the choice to give up our own power and give it to whoever is willing to step in and give us their opinion, no matter how distorted. Then, and those opinions that we get from others that are choosing to provide us with those can be so distorted and so off base and just really a projection of their own fears and insecurities and things that they have not dealt with. We talk about projection a lot here because it is such a common thing. And if you are just accepting someone else's opinion and their projections of their fears and issues that they're dealing with, or they're choosing rather not to deal with, and just projecting onto others because they don't want to deal with it, then you are truly not going to be who you were meant to be. You will forget who you are, and you are giving up your own power. You have the power to make the decisions of who you are, what you should do, how you should live your life, what kind of person you should be. But by always feeling like you have to do what other people say, or you have to be a certain way to please other people in your life, you are giving away that power. We can also allow what others think or what we believe they are thinking about us keep us from taking action, following through with desires and goals, and being the person we were meant to be. And that is something that I have struggled with for so long. I would let people's opinions, or what I thought were their opinions, based upon, diving into mind reading, which we have talked about here. And if you want to learn more about that, I encourage you to go back into the podcast archives because I have talked about mind reading several times. It's a dangerous game of believing that you know what someone else is thinking and then taking that as truth, even though you haven't actually confirmed it, and then playing your life off of that, which is not good. But that is what I did a lot because I had people in my life that would tell me that I am not good enough, or that I shouldn't be trying to go after the things I was going after. I was belittled a lot, and so I developed into the best people pleaser I could be, and that really it all went downhill for me from there because I was so reliant on other people's opinions, and I wanted other people's blessings, and I needed everyone else to confirm who I am and make that decision for me because I was not confident in doing it myself because I've been being pushed down so much. And I am not blaming other people for causing me to feel this way. I, made those choices, but I made those choices at such a young age and didn't really come out of it until, recently, honestly. And that's why it's taken me so long, but I made the decision to follow what other people and be so imprisoned by other people's opinions and what they thought of me from such a young age that I don't think I even realized I was making a bad decision at the time because I was so young. You know what I mean? So whenever it's happened to you, though, if you're a child, maybe you're in high school, you're an adolescent, or maybe you go to college and you're like a young adult, it doesn't matter. Or even it just happened recently, it doesn't matter. It still affects us pretty much the same, where we are giving our power away. We are allowing other people to, take over our lives, push us in certain directions, and that's not what we should doing. That's not sorry, not doing. That's not what we should be doing. Is what I'm trying to get at. We don't want other people to get in the way of us becoming the people that we are supposed to be and living the lives that we are truly meant to have. And I know it's a universal desire for everyone to be liked and accepted, but that isn't going to be the thing that helps you create happiness in your life. It's truly not. You think that if everyone likes you, that you will be the happiest person and version of yourself that you could be. But I'm here to tell you from my personal experience and knowing other people's personal experience that that is not true. Everyone in the world can like you, and you'll still feel empty and alone and as if something is still missing. And the thing that is missing is you not actually being who you truly are. And not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay. And that was really hard for me to accept. So if it's something that's super hard for you to accept, just know that that's normal. But you have to take the time and the courage to work through that and not let that bother you, because it can really sting if someone doesn't like you, especially if it's for like irrational reasons, or just like how you look or how they think you are, or even like hearsay and rumors. But if someone actually truly gets to know who you are and they still don't like you, that can really hurt because it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong, or that you are not who you're supposed to be when you are who you're supposed to be. Just not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to accept you the way that you are, even though I was just preaching yesterday about how people should. But people just aren't, because no one's perfect. And people have their own issues that they're going through, and that's why another reason why I talk about how having grace for others is super important, because you never know what someone else is going through. And even though they may project their mess onto you, they're still going through stuff, and we should still give them grace and understand that that might have been you, or that maybe was you at some point. And you might be grateful if someone else had or did extend grace to you. So just think of it that way, because exchanging malice for malice and meanness for meanness is not going to solve any problems. It's not necessarily going to make you feel good once it's all said and done. It'll make you feel good maybe for 30 seconds or a minute in the moment, but it's not going to really change anything for you in your life that's significant. It's really not. But again, it is universal desire for everyone to be liked and accepted, but that is not going to be the thing that helps you create happiness in your life. It's just not. But let me ask you this. Have you ever thought about how you actually feel after you take in someone else's opinion, or let their opinion drive you to a decision you probably wouldn't have made on your own? It doesn't feel very good. It's not good. If you actually reflect on them telling you what you should do and the way you should go, and how that probably conflicts with something deep down in your heart, but you do it anyway because you want to be accepted, you want to be liked, you want to be cherished, you want to get the raise, you want to get the promotion, you want to get the job, you want to be in the social group, you want to be in the spotlight. You want to not disappoint people. You want to be seen at the highest level. You want all of these things that are not really about you. You just think they are because they look pretty and they feel good, you know? But really, if you look deep inside yourself, you don't feel good. It's just a facade. It's like on the outside, it looks so shiny, but on the inside, it's messed up. It's gross. It's a mess. It's not what it's supposed to be. I'm telling you this. I know it could be hard to hear this, but it's important that you know that that's not going to give you true happiness. It's just not. And when you actually think about it, it brings it to more light, right? Becoming more self-aware, as I talk about all the time, you will understand yourself better and maybe think more deeply about things that you chose not to, because you knew that it would unravel things that are keeping you calm right now. But if you actually investigated it, it would cause more problems that you'd have to solve, which you should when you're ready. It's said that people would care a lot less about what others thought of them if they knew that people don't care about them as much as they thought. Have you heard that quote, that famous quote? It's true. If we actually thought of it that way, but I feel like we're all so fixated on ourselves that we don't think of it that way. But I think if we had that thought more often, it would help us subside being so obsessed with other people thought about us. And, it's true. But I believe it's the few people that do enjoy sharing their opinions with us, telling us how we should live our lives and what we should be doing, that get in our head. These people get in our head, their opinions get in our head, and create the mindset that everyone else is the same. But that isn't true. Maybe there are people in your life that will, spout negativity to you and be mean and tell you how you should be and how you should look and how you should act, and tell you that you're not perfect enough. You haven't hit the mark and you need to do this, that, and the other. And you think that just because one or two or three people in your life do that, everyone does that, but it's not true. There are so many people out there that actually accept you and love you and care for you and like you the way that you are and don't want you to change, or they want you to change, but they just want to be there to help you grow and become your best self. They want to be there to help you grow, challenge you, do the right things, not just tell you that who you are truly is terrible or not what you should be or not accepted, and you need to be something else that's fake. That's not being your authentic self, by the way, if you didn't know. So let's chat about some ways we can work on caring less what others think about us. And since I talk about this topic a lot, um, I'm going to just give you 3 tips because I know that we'll talk about it again and again and again because it's super important and it's something that we're all plagued with. So the first tip that I have for you is to stop apologizing for who you are. A lot of times when we get so stuck in worrying what other people think about us and who we are and taking other people's opinions and whatever, we are apologizing for who we are. We're like, oh, I'm so sorry that this is the way I do this, or this is how I look, or whatever. You know that thing, if you're on Instagram, if you're not, then maybe you're not familiar with this, but when you're on Instagram and depending upon who you're following, and you go and like look at someone's stories, and a lot of girls, and I've heard people actually admit to this and they're trying to stop it, but a lot of girls, especially in the past, would come on and be like, oh, you guys, I'm so sorry that I didn't do my hair, or I don't have makeup on, or that I look like a mess, or whatever. It's interesting that they would just start the story off, and I'm guilty of this too. They'll start it off by apologizing for what they look like when it's their story and it's their feed and people come to see them. And yeah, the expectation might be that, if they have in the past always looked put together or whatever, and then they come on and they don't, that might be a surprise, but you still shouldn't have to apologize for it because you're just being who you authentically are. And you can be that person authentically that wears makeup and likes to dress nice and sharp and look great and have a great fashion sense, but you can also be that person that doesn't do their hair or their makeup and just wants to chill and relax and take days off and take breaks. That can be, you are allowed to be multifaceted. I'm here to tell you. So I encourage you to stop apologizing for who you are. So apologizing for any mistakes that you've made in the past. If you made them towards someone, obviously you're going to apologize in the moment, but you don't have to continue to apologize for those mistakes and those failures as you continue through your life. You don't have to apologize for being different or having a different opinion or just changing your mind and making decisions that aren't similar to other people's. You don't. You need to stop. And if you stop, you'll start embracing yourself more. And then when you start embracing yourself more, you'll care less what other people think. The second one is to stop overanalyzing everything. I overanalyze everything all the time. It's like a hobby. It's a problem. But overanalyzing everything will cause you to think that everyone is against you and think that everyone else's opinion matters and think that yours doesn't. It'll also lead you to lead you to believe that people's little actions, like the social actions that you see, or the way that people look at you, or if you start engaging in mind reading, you will believe that they are judging you and that you will let their opinion matter more than it needs to. Even if that's not what they're talking about, even if you are like the last thing on their mind, if you are taking your depiction of their social cues into mind and thinking that whatever things that they were doing were directed at you, and you can just get all caught up in it, right? You can get all caught up in the way that people say things to you if you take it negatively or you take it out of context or you just take it differently than they intended it, or if you try to overanalyze like who you are and whether or not people like you for whatever specific reasons that you desire that they do. If you just spend all your time over analyzing every little thing, everything that some people say, then it'll be really hard for you to get from up under worrying about what other people think about you. It will be really difficult because you're taking too many things into account and you're nitpicking and you're deciding to focus on all the negatives as opposed to just maybe taking the compliment and walking away. Don't analyze the way that they smile, they look at you, or if you see them from afar pointing at you, or even if someone tells you gossip that they may have said about you, right? Like, it doesn't matter. It really, truly doesn't matter. because you are supposed to be the person that you are. They are going to be the person that they are. And regardless of what they think about you, that's not truly going to affect who you are. Yes, it might affect you hitting a certain status. It might affect you getting a job or connections with people or whatever. But those things weren't meant to be for you because they're not real, and they're not going to be helpful to you if you're trying to pretend to be someone you're not, just to get things that they're probably don't need or not meant to have. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't go together. Those things just don't go together, because if you're not being authentically who you're supposed to be, then you're not going to get the things that are actually authentic to you and meant to be on your journey, on your path to becoming your best self. So number 3, and the last tip I have for you today, is to stop trying to be perfect. I struggle with this all the time. Not as much anymore. Praise God, I have gotten stronger and just kind of like let things go, which is great. And that should encourage you. For someone that's been struggling with this for years, since I was a little girl, I have finally really been able to get from up under it. Not totally, not completely, but a lot of it. I would say 60%. But yeah, stop trying to be perfect, because you'll never be perfect, because no one's perfect. God's only perfect. Jesus is perfect. But no one is perfect. And you're never going to be perfect. And you're really wasting your time and your energy trying to be perfect when you're never going to get there. And watch how high your expectations are. Why are your expectations so high? You created them so high that you cannot hit them. But then you feel like you look better than everyone else because your expectations are much higher and you're trying a lot harder and you're looking a lot better. Are you just doing it for you? Are you just doing it so you can look better? Are you doing it so someone will look worse because you're so concerned with what other people will think about you? Those people that may not even be thinking about you, right? They might not even care. So it's tough. I know it is. I know it's not easy, but we need to work on that. We need to stop trying to be perfect, because it doesn't exist, and stop trying to, people they just burn themselves out and like kill their mindset and their motivation and everything trying to be perfect. It's not a real thing. And if you're trying to be perfect for someone else because you feel like their opinion and what they think about you matters so much, you really need to reassess that relationship, that situation. It's not worth it. And if they are pushing you to be perfect, to please them, that should be a red flag. And you need to take a step back and really rethink what's happening there, because they have a high expectation for you to try to become something that doesn't exist, and they probably know that, so they're manipulating you into thinking that you can, or that it will make them happy, but they know that you will never hit that goal, and you're just killing yourself for something that's never going to happen, and they might be enjoying your pain and suffering and the control that they have over you. So if that is you, please take a step back and really reconsider what's happening. Ask for help. Someone, anyone other than that person. But stop trying to be perfect. No one is. No one can be. And being perfect is boring. We should all be out there just trying new things, growing, learning, changing, becoming our best selves, and moving on to new things in our lives. But that's all I have to say about that. That's all I have to say. I just hope that you don't let what other people may or may not think about you hinder you in continuing on your journey, because it would really suck if you did. Because it's an unnecessary burden for you to carry around. So, well, thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. Thank you so much, you guys. I love it. I love sharing and caring for you guys and helping you out. Reminder that I need questions. I need advice questions sent to me so that I can include it in like a week's topic for episodes to answer you guys' questions. Give you guys advice on things that you may need help with. So please DM me on Instagram or my email address, which is both below in the description box, along with the notes for the show. Or if you want to send me any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, or just to say hey, hi, and hello to me, that's great. Tomorrow, Friday, we're going to close up this week and talk about you value quality over quantity. That should be a good one. But until then, have a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.